education. I propose that what we take is those very poor schools, the Title I schools, triple the amount of money we spend from $15 to $45 billion a year. Give every single teacher a raise, an equal raise of getting out the $60,000 level. Number two, make sure that we bring in to help the teachers deal with the problems that come from home. The problems that come from home, we have one school psychologist for every 1,500 kids in America today. It's crazy. The teachers are retired. I'm married to a teacher. My deceased wife is a teacher. They have every problem coming to them. We have to make sure that every single child does in fact have 3-, 4-, and 5-year-olds go to school, not daycare, school. We bring social workers into homes and parents to help them deal with how to raise their children. It's not they don't want to help, they don't know quite what to do. Play the radio, make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone, make sure the kids hear word. A kid coming from a very poor school, a very poor background, will hear 4 million words fewer spoken by the time they get there. There's so much I'm going to go like the rest of them do, twice over. Okay?
$7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
That was the shit fuck, cringe tour, etc., etc.
Yeah. And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup from my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people. I went in yesterday and there was a television screen and I said, this is genius. Well, you have to understand, the first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting, pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon.
But the
real problem is that our leaders are dumb. Dumb. So dumb.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened.
No, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
Joe Brandon, I agree. I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa.
$7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah!
Hello? Testing! Hello? Is this thing on? Testing. Testing. Hello? Folks, I have an announcement. I have an announcement to make. I want everyone to check their calendars. Because when you do, you will learn that today is the weekend. Yeah! So we got a show lined up for today. I got a program. We're going to be doing a program today. I've decided to make this this day to be the program day because today is the day for the program. I would like to start today's show with saying, hold the phone. Start today's show with saying, I've got to wait for the loading screen. Hold on. The little loading screen action. Hold up. So I want to start. Okay. Today's show. Start today's. Hold on. Let's just get rid of that. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm going to start today's show by announcing Cooking with the Bitch. It's happening. Episode 16 premieres in 77 minutes, folks. 77 minutes. Cooking with the Bitch. We're making some soup. Some fucking goddamn. Yeah! And so y'all assumed it wouldn't happen. Y'all didn't believe me when I told you it would happen. but it is happening. I didn't do it on Wednesday because it was my birthday this week, so I'm a little delayed. But that's not it. You might be thinking, this is you. That's you right now. You might be thinking, right? So, now if you are thinking that, let me respond with saying, also on today's broadcast lineup, we got a Doom stream. Another one, 2 in a week. I did one on Wednesday, and I'm going to be finishing this WAD anomaly report. I'm going to be finishing this WAD today at 1 p.m. So, got content overload on the channel today. We got all kinds of bull. So, if any of this is interesting to you, then you better tune in. I don't want to fucking... How many viewers do I have right now? I got like 20 viewers. That's like the peak for my Doom streams. Y'all motherfuckers are like... That's you. I don't want to hear it, motherfucker. Ooh, I don't like video games. Go fuck yourself, asshole. Anyway, so... that's the show that's the lineup for multiple shows. We got multiple shows. Once again, Cooking with the Bitch, 76 minutes. Knee Deep in the Doggies in 2 hours and an unknown amount of minutes because YouTube doesn't show that information. So there you go. Calling the Gazpacho? Whoa, not the Gazpacho. Hate those guys. You're spoiling us? That's very true. I see tofu and mushroom in that soup. Looks yummy. It is yummy. It was a good soup. I still have it in the fridge. So I might have some more later. And so I've got some water with me. People may be wondering, why do I drink water out of mason jars? I got a lot of mason jars, you know? They're multi-purpose. But anyway, so we got a show. I guess we should get into the show because, you know, there's so much to talk about. There's just so much to discuss. There's just so much to discuss. So let's discuss. All right, so we got some news. We got some news here today. Tesla shares drop after a report that Musk is targeting a 10% job cut amid super bad feeling about global economy. So this is interesting. Earlier in the week, I talked about how Elon Musk sent out a company-wide email basically demanding everyone that works in offices have to actually go to the office. Waste all your money on gas and transport. Go to the office. And now we're finding out, oh, he's just going to fire 10% of the company. That's great. Really cool stuff. This is from MarketWatch.com, by the way. The global economy apparently has the world's wealthiest man concerned. Now, again, Elon Musk has never been and probably will never be the wealthiest man in the world. This is a propaganda campaign by basically all of corporate media. Just loves to refer to him as the wealthiest man in the world. It's just not true. Like, I mean, we can talk about how, like, inflated stock prices aren't actually, you know, wealth. We could talk about that. But just in raw, like, even if you count inflated stock prices, right? Elon Musk doesn't come close to, I don't know, the fucking crown prince of Saudi Arabia. Like, come on now. Like, this idea that Elon Musk is the world's wealthiest man is just ludicrous. It's ridiculous. It's never been true, never will be true. It's a propaganda campaign. And I see a lot of left-wingers also refer to him as the world's wealthiest man. Like, it doesn't matter if you, oh, the world's wealthiest man is triggered by my post on Twitter. It doesn't matter. When you acknowledge the fact, right, that he is the world's wealthiest man, you're buying into propaganda. It's never been true, never will be true. And so I just wanted to throw that out there. So anyway, an email with, quote, pause all hirings worldwide, as its headline was reportedly sent to executives at electric car giant Tesla, minus 7%. Reuters reported late Thursday in the email, chief executive Elon Musk, I thought he was like the techno king or whatever the fuck. I don't know, man. Said that he had a super bad feeling about the economy and that employee headcount needed to be cut by 10%. According to Reuters report, Tesla employed around 100,000 people at the end of 2021. According to an annual SEC filing, Tesla did not immediately respond to a request for comment. So they just hired 100,000 people 6 months ago, and now they're like, psych! Isn't that great? Tesla shares fell more than 4% in pre-market trading after closing up at 4.6% at $776 on Thursday amid a broad market rally, blah, blah, blah. Musk's apparent economic gloom comes on the heels of attention-grabbing comments by JP Morgan Chase chairman and chief executive Jamie Dimon, who warned of a looming economic hurricane from rate hikes, the war in Ukraine, and inflation. Now, again, who would be affected by a potential market collapse? Certainly not Elon Musk. Certainly not Jamie Dimon. Right? Elon Musk isn't going to fire himself, right? He's going to fire, I don't know, the lowest of the low. He's going to fire the people that he views as unnecessary to his company. And that's going to be, I don't know, the low-wage workers, right, that he employs in slave-like conditions. Again, Elon Musk, Tesla, currently, I think they're still currently in this lawsuit. And, you know, it turns out that a lot of Elon Musk's Tesla factories are literally ran like plantations, right? Like they would have all black factory workers being yelled at and called racist names by white management. It's insane, right? So this is the kind of conditions that Tesla, employs people with. So again, isn't it interesting that why don't we talk about the fact that 6 months ago he hired 100,000 people and now he's like, oh, we got to cut 10%? Like, what changed in the last 6 months? Like, if you are forecasting an economic collapse, right, and you couldn't see it coming 6 months ago, you know what I mean? Like, what? What? Like, I have been forecasting an economic collapse since the COVID pandemic started because the writing's been on the wall the whole time, right? So you're telling me some stupid bitch in her bedroom is a better predictor of the economy than the so-called world's wealthiest man? I don't know, man. That shit's insane. But is anyone going to give him bad press for that? No. I mean, it's just like a bad decision-making all around. You know what I mean? So anyway, Elon Musk is garbage. There you go. And also, the only reason I wanted to talk about this is because he's not the wealthiest man in the world. Anyone who thinks that's a moron, just full stop. I mean, like, again, we could talk about inflated market caps of stocks that have no actual, real world wealth attachment. But even if you use the stupid rules that we're all using for the leaderboard, the capitalist leaderboard, he still is nowhere near, even the top 5. Like, you're telling me, that fucking, princes and kings in, fucking Saudi Arabia and fucking shit like fucking Russia, you're telling me that Elon Musk is wealthier than all of those people? Pfft, I'm sorry. Just, I don't even believe that for a second. But anyway, there you go. Elon goddamn motherfucker. All right. Getting into the news. Alameda County reinstates mask order as coronavirus cases soar. This is in California. Alameda County issued a new mask mandate in most indoor public settings, effective Friday as coronavirus cases climb. The county, home to Oakland, is the San Francisco Bay Area's second most populous. Alameda County's move represents the first time a California county has issued a mask mandate since the winter Omicron surge faded. So the reason why I'm covering this is because we're living in this world, right, where COVID still exists. It's still ripping through vulnerable populations. It's just that the CDC stopped reporting it. The CDC literally just stopped reporting COVID cases. They just gave up. They just gave up. Isn't that insane? Isn't that insane? They just gave up. No, this again, this is not the Trump administration. You might be wrong, You might be, assuming that this is the Trump administration where the CDC is corrupted and ran by neo-Nazis, right? But we're living in the Biden administration. The CDC changed all the rules, basically said COVID only counts if it's hospitalizations, and then they fucked off. So, I don't know, man. We've been in the middle of this surge for a couple of months now. There's new variants that aren't even in the news. Like, there's like 3 new variants that are circulating through the United States right now. They're not even in the news. They're not naming them because the WHO said if we name them, then people might panic. So even though they're worse than Omicron, more contagious than Omicron, and have more cases total in these countries than Omicron, we're not going to give them a new name because then people might be a little afraid. They got to get back to work. This is insane. But anyway, a county in California is finally realizing, oh, maybe we should do something about this. The order does not apply to K-12 school settings through the end of the school year, nor does it apply to Berkeley, which is in Alameda County, but it has its own public health department. Berkeley's K-12 public school system, however, has already implemented an indoor mask mandate. Rising COVID cases in Alameda County are now leading to more people being hospitalized, and today's actions reflecting the seriousness of the moment. Dr. Nicholas Moss, Alameda County's health officer, said in a statement, "We cannot ignore the data, and we can't predict when this wave may end. Putting our masks back on gives us the best opportunity to limit the impact of a prolonged wave on our communities." Again, like, this fucking shit is insane. Like, this is insane that we're living through this pandemic still in such a profoundly stupid fucking fashion where, we've tried pretending it isn't real. We've tried pretending it never happened. We've tried just moving on. We've tried getting back to work. And yet, for whatever reason, COVID's still here. Isn't that insane? Whoa! So, anyway, again, just a reminder, Joe Biden declared victory from coronavirus for, I think it was the 3rd or 4th time just last March, a couple months ago. He declared victory during the State of the Union. He was like, COVID is over. Again, that was like the 3rd or 4th time he said that, but, don't, right? This fucking shit's insane. This is insane. Like, Americans are fucking stupid. America is a stupid fucking country. America's a stupid fucking country. And you know what? I'm just going to say this right now. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care your vaccination status. If you go outside into like an indoor building, like a grocery store or like a medical facility, and you don't wear a mask, I'm not even going to say it on stream, but you know what I'm about to say. You know what I want to say. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you've done in your life. If you walk around without a mask on, you deserve whatever happens to you. Full stop. Fuck you, fuck America, and fuck Americans. So that's what I have to say. I'm saying it wrong. Go back and read. Okay, I'm going to go back and read. Okay. I understand Realon. In my defense, it says employed as in past tense, as in, they employed. So it's just badly worded, but thank you for that correction. I've been having a similar experience out here in Southern California. No one wears masks. No one. 0% of people I've seen. Like, when I went to the bookstore the other day, there was a couple people wearing masks. But I figure if you're going to a bookstore, you might have a higher IQ than the average person. But when I was at the grocery store, 0 masks. Other than like some employees, and most of the employees had the nose poker. You know what I mean? Like, again, if you walk around in an indoor setting and you've got a mask on your mouth but not your nose, you deserve everything that comes your way. Fuck you. You are the dumbest, stupidest fucking, like, you're like the kid on the playground that's eating mud. You're a fucking low IQ Neanderthal moron, and the world would be better off without you. It's that simple. Oh, I got my mask on! What the fuck? Like, I mean, like, what? Stupid ass motherfuckers. Dumb ass motherfuckers. If the elderly don't want to wear a mask indoors, fuck them. Fuck them. I'm done. I'm sorry. I am done with this bull fucking shit. It's not just Republicans. It's not just the unvaccinated. It's all of these fucking idiots that think COVID's over. And it's the fucking government that tells these motherfuckers this shit. Fuck them. Fuck them. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Great reset. Here we come. I'm ready. Get rid of these fucking anti-maskers. Get fucking rid of them. Fuck them all to hell. Anyway, let's switch over to some good news. Attempted Reagan assassin John Hinckley thanks supporters ahead of full release. Quote, time to rock and roll. John Hinckley hints at upcoming concerts that have sparked controversy. So this is great. Let's read. John Hinckley Jr., the man who shot President Reagan in 1981, is celebrating his upcoming release from court restrictions. After a federal judge on Wednesday confirmed Hinckley's unconditional release on June 15th, the would-be assassin took to Twitter to thank his supporters. A big thank you to everyone who helped me get my unconditional release, Hinckley wrote. What a long, strange trip it has been. Now it's time to rock and roll, he concluded. He was likely referencing his upcoming Brooklyn concert appearances. Hinckley, an aspiring singer-songwriter, has been uploading his music to YouTube, where he has just over 27,000 subscribers. Everyone go subscribe to this guy right now. Look him up, subscribe immediately. Market Hotel, the venue hosting Hinckley in July, has faced backlash for inflammatory comments about the assassination attempt. Hinckley didn't fuck up a billionth as many lives as Reagan administration did, Market Hotel wrote in a now deleted tweet. Yo, you gotta take your hat off. I don't have a hat on, but if I had a hat on, damn, Market Hotel. I'm gonna read that again. Hinckley didn't fuck up a billionth as many lives as the Reagan administration did. Damn. I'm just saying, like, can you imagine this fucking hotel they are in? This is so good. I don't know anything about Hinckley's personal politics or whatever, but I mean, honestly though, shout outs to this guy. Hinckley was 25 when, inspired by the Martin Scorsese film Taxi Driver, he shot the newly elected Reagan in an attempt to impress actress Jodie Foster. I don't care why he did it. I don't care what his reasons were. I don't care. This is funny. This is fucking funny. You can't tell me that this isn't funny. Okay? This is crazy stuff. He was found not guilty by reason of insanity in 1982. I mean, again, if you're trying to impress someone because you watched a fucking movie and you shoot Reagan and try to impress someone for that, yeah, you're probably insane. But I don't care. I don't give a shit. It's funny. This is funny shit. Hinckley was committed to St. Elizabeth's Hospital for over 34 years. He was released under certain restrictions in 2016, living with his mother in Williamsburg, Virginia since then. A federal judge granted Hinckley's unconditional release last September on the promise of good behavior, finding that his mental condition was in full and sustained remission. That's great. I'm glad. Happy for him. Everyone, happy for this guy. He's got to live his best life, and now he's playing music and going on YouTube. This is great. Reagan suffered serious injuries during the assassination attempt, including a punctured lung and a broken rib. The .22 caliber bullet had narrowly missed Reagan's heart. Like, we gotta fucking develop the fucking many worlds quantum machine, and we gotta look at the fucking world where, like, the wind was just slightly faster, it's just a slight gust of wind, and then, right? Like, I'm just saying, I'm just throwing this out there. Hey, I'm not wishing for harm. I'm against violence. I'm anti-violence. Like Martin Luther King said, sit down and don't ever do anything violent, right? Because that's what he said. That's what I was taught in the history books. And I love not being violent. I love being non-violent. I love sitting down and letting the violence be, projected onto me and then doing nothing about it in return. But anyway, I would love to see, again, narrowly, almost got him. Almost. But, in 1981, I mean, let's be honest, though. What would be different? 1981, that was, his first fucking year. Damn. Anyway. The attack injured 3 others, including former White House Press Secretary James Brady, who became permanently paralyzed. Brady's death in 2014 was ruled a homicide due to gunshot injuries he'd sustained 33 years before. I don't know anything about James Brady, but, I mean, if he's the White House Press Secretary for Reagan, fuck him! That's all I have to say on that one. And that's the end of the article. So anyway, Go subscribe to this guy's YouTube show. It's time to rock and roll, baby. And again, I'm against violence. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, just let the people punch you and then smile in their face or whatever. He says something like that because he loves not being violent. And Martin Luther King Jr. is, he's the non-violence guy, right? He never said any, riots are the language of the unheard. Never said that. That's make-believe. That's the liberal media telling you that. I learned this in my history book in elementary school. So I know exactly what I'm talking about here. And I would never be violent. I would never even think of violence at all. I don't even like violins because they sound too close to violence. Whenever I hear violins, I'm thinking, oh my God, right? I got to get away from that. Anyway, so Ronald Reagan, unfortunately, depending on your persuasion, of which, again, I can't have a personal, I'm just reporting the news. I'm just reporting the news here, okay? But unfortunately, Ronald Reagan, narrowly missed the heart. I don't know, man. Anyway. Anyway, so that's some good news out of the way. Okay, so once again, cooking with the bitch. 56 minutes in less than an hour. In less than an hour, we're going to get a cooking show. Can you believe it? I'm so generous. I'm so fucking generous, okay? And then, in 2 hours, we're going to do some Doom. Isn't that insane? Isn't that crazy? Like, I'm like a... You don't even know how lucky you are to be a part of this stream. I don't know. Anyway, what I do know is that there's some bad shit going on in the world. Florida just announced that it is ending Medicaid coverage for transgender adults for their gender-affirming care. As expected, the attack on trans kids had progressed to attacks on medically necessary care for trans adults. The end goal is forced detransition or harm. This is from Aaron in the Morn on Twitter, who posted a press release that we can read here. And the most important parts of this press release, if you follow my mouse here, look at that, are this part. The agency's report summarizes the scientific research about the effectiveness of treatment for gender dysphoria for children. Research found scientific studies supporting hormone replacement therapy, puberty blockers, and sex reassignment surgery for treating gender dysphoria are weak to very weak. So I just want to say, again, all the studies that exist say that at the lowest number I've seen was 97% of trans people that when they get gender affirming care, gender dysphoria either ceases to exist or severely diminishes. The lowest number I've seen is 97%. Now again, there are some people where, it solves not all of their problems, or, it's not, the main solution of the problems. There are some people that detransition because they feel like it's not the right thing for them. That exists. That's real. But that is an extreme minority. The evidence is showing benefits from hormone replacement therapies for gender dysphoria is very weak. Scientific studies do not show the use of puberty blockers improves mental health. There is a lack of long-term follow-up studies after sex reassignment surgery. There are no randomized controlled trials or the effect on the effectiveness of gender-affirming care. Now, again, this is all just not true. If you look at the doctors, right, that they source this information from, it is like, again, it's like the 1% of scientists that say that, oh, the climate's not changing. The climate's not changing. The 1% of dentists that recommend against flossing. Oh, you don't want to floss. No. Listen to me. I'm the 1% of dentists. I know what's up. So, but Florida, now again, the reason why this is so bad is because a lot of trans people are poor. A lot of trans people are discriminated against so heavily in society that they're unable to accrue wealth at the rate that cisgender people are, right? So trans people are often discriminated against in housing, can't find a place to live. Trans people are often discriminated against in hiring, can't find a job. And so a lot of trans people, a higher percentage of them are on Medicaid. And again, this is the goal of this kind of stuff is genocide. It's genocide. That's what it is. There's no, Imagine if, there's like, like let's say you just, certain kind of black people just aren't allowed to get certain kinds of health care. We're not racist. It's just we're only going to target the black community, and we're only going to target them because of a certain kind of health care that they need. But we're not racist. No. And then all of a sudden, black people start dying in droves. I mean, that already happens, right? Because the American healthcare system is so fucked up, right? Again, like black, maternal mortality rates are skyrocketing because nurses and doctors just don't take them seriously when they say that they're in pain, and then often they will die, right? So again, that's already happening, right? But again, imagine, let's flip the script. Imagine if white people, right? Oh, like, white people get like sunburned or whatever, and they have higher skin cancer rates. So just imagine, okay? And then like all like across the country, it was like, oh, if you're on Medicaid and you're white and you got like some skin cancer from your sunburn because you have white skin, sorry, we can't treat you. And then a bunch of white people start dying in droves. This is genocide. That's what this is. This is genocide. There is no if, there is no and. This is no, oh, we're almost there. This is genocide. Full stop. There is no, anyone who's trying to downplay the fact that this is genocide is a fucking moron. It's insane. It's insane. And so you can, read the rest of this thread if you'd like. I think Ron DeSantis is doing a press conference about this today. So there you go. Pretty shitty. And, we're just moving further and further and further off the rails. This country is garbage. It's garbage. It's just trash. It's pure trash. It's pure garbage. Anyone who defends this stuff is a fascist and needs to go. They need to go somewhere on an island, like it's fucking like Minecraft, just start a new server, create an island somewhere, give them one tree and a fucking axe, and then have them live the rest of their life on that fucking island. They are fucking they're just evil. Like, Republicans are evil. Full stop. Like, it's just, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no... It's insane. They're just evil. Like the whole, but it's about kids. The kids. Alabama's banning all health care for trans people, even adults under the age of 19. There's like bills in North Carolina and Tennessee that are trying to ban all trans-related health care for people under the age of 26. This shit's insane. These people are fucking crazy. They're crazy. They're fucking crazy. I don't know there's no commentary that I need here. These fucking people are crazy. If you can't see that this fucking shit is crazy, if you can't see that this fucking shit is insane, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. This is the party of mandatory genital checks for children. There are bills in like Utah, fucking like Texas, right? Oklahoma, right? Like fucking Nebraska, I think they're talking about it, Ohio, where they want to literally mandate genital checks for children in order to participate in soccer class or whatever. Isn't that crazy? This is the party that, the trannies are grooming the kids. This is the same party that is mandating that we check the genitals of 8-year-olds before they play soccer. Whatever they want to pretend the argument's about is always a scapegoat. They're liars. They're insane fucking crazy people. It's just crazy. I don't know what to tell you. It's crazy. NC passed their own Don't Say Gay bill. Surprised you haven't covered it. I mean, do I need to cover it? Like, I covered the Florida version extensively, and I cover the fact that other states are doing it. So, I mean, I'm just going to say the same thing. I don't know. Do I need to? This fucking shit's crazy. Anyway. Speaking of Republicans, this fucking shit, man. There was like some congressional hearing or some bullshit on guns, and we got this gem out of it. This is why AR-15s are necessary. We can't ban them. They're necessary.
In rural Colorado, an AR-15 is a gun of choice for killing raccoons before they get to our chickens. It is a gun of choice for killing a fox. It is a gun that you control predators on your ranch, on your farm, on your property. The idea that somehow we're going to deny access to, I think there are 20 million AR-15s in circulation in this country. It makes absolutely no sense. In rural Colorado.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
Like, so there's a lot here to take in. Okay. Let's assume you need machine guns to kill raccoons or whatever. Okay? Like, what, like, I don't know, like, what do they mean when they say raccoon, by the way? But anyway, so let's say you need machine guns to kill raccoons because, oh, my farm. Well, there's other countries. Now, again, regardless of what you think on the gun issue, this is a bad argument. There's other countries that have gun restrictions, and the only guns that are allowed are, like, say, shotguns and rifles. And in order to own a shotgun and rifle, you need to literally have documented that you own a farm. Oh, so, okay, the farmers need machine guns. They need them. So why don't we allow a bill that would only let farmers have access to them? So, okay, farmers need machine guns, and therefore someone that lives in an apartment complex can just buy 20 of them because the farmer needs them? It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense, okay? It doesn't make any fucking... This is not an argument, like, at all. It doesn't work at all. It's insane. Like, I don't, like... I just want to play this again. This is crazy shit.
Colorado, an AR-15 is a gun of choice for killing raccoons before they get to our chickens. It is a gun of choice for killing a fox. It is a gun that you control predators on your ranch, on your farm, on your property.
Have you ever heard of fucking, I don't know, a chicken coop? Have you heard of a fence? Have you ever heard of fences? Like barbed wire fences? I don't know, man. Why do you have such a fucking raccoon problem? Why are there fucking thousands of raccoons that are fucking storming your farm like it's a fucking, like, I don't know, tower defense video game or something? What the fuck are these people talking about? Like, seriously, man. And there's a couple of other clips from this hearing, too, that are really bad, but this one I thought was the most entertaining. What, like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. These motherfuckers. Like, even if you think guns are the most important thing in the world, this is not a good argument. This is not a good fucking argument. Kelsey, I have no idea what you're saying. You can have a 22, but it only needs to be a single shot bolt action 22. Okay. So you need a semi-automatic rifle because there's another version that has the same ammunition type? What? I don't understand. So we should have legal machine guns because, like, a slow... Like, I don't know what you're advocating for. But, okay. No? They're playing games? Okay, so... Their logic is that a rifle that has a certain ammunition type is good for killing raccoons, so therefore we should have machine guns with that same ammunition type. That's their argument? Okay. I understand. I get it. It's crystallizing. Wait. All right, we're good. Thank you. Man, these motherfuckers are insane, though. All right. Speaking of insanity, you're gonna get a Cooking with the Bitch episode in 42 minutes. Isn't that insane? Isn't that crazy? Anyway, speaking of insanity, Ted Cruz. Everyone knows about him, for better or for worse. And so let's see what he has to say. So here we are. We're still like, what is it? Like a week or so after the Uvalde mass shooting. Now, again, how many mass shootings have been happening in this country since then? There's been a couple over the course of the last week. But anyway, still promoting these bizarre conspiracy theories that the cops did nothing wrong. The real problem are the doors.
Practices. How do you make a school safer? And if you look at the Santa Fe shooter, what he did is he entered through an unlocked back door. He made it into a classroom and he was able to start murdering students. And one of the best practices that security experts will tell you is to harden schools so that you don't have unlocked back doors. You send everyone through one central entrance, which, by the way, federal courthouses have, federal buildings have, banks have. And at that entrance, you have armed police officers. And I've been championing the fight to provide funding for police officers in schools.
Well, Senator.
And what was so maddening in Uvalde is this guy also went through an open back door, got into the classroom and began murdering children. If we had passed that grant funding, if that door had been locked, if there'd only been one entrance, and if there'd been armed police officers at that entrance, those police officers could have killed that monster before he murdered those 19 students.
Senator,
and those two teachers.
So, okay. First of all, a lot of these conspiracies have been debunked. Okay? The idea that there weren't cops there is insane. Like, it's been documented that there were cops that engaged with him. They just fucked up. And then it's like, okay, so we want to turn schools into prisons. Great. So we're going to turn all of our schools into prisons. But also, the door, this thing with this door problem. The door, right? Like, first they blamed the teacher, and I'm going to get into that in a little bit. So first they blamed the teacher that said the teacher left the door open. But now we're finding out that the door lock mechanism just malfunctioned or whatever. Also, we know that cops in schools, typically, they don't stop school shooters. Typically, if you have cops in schools, what they'll do is beat the shit out of black students. That's what they do. Again, there's been examples of school resource officers in schools in like Baltimore, for example, that white kids know that they can use school resource officers to bully black kids. There are videos that you can find, you can just look them up, where white kids will punch a black student in the face. The black student will then, respond by saying, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then, oh, there's a black kid who's angry, and then all of a sudden the cops will tackle the black kid. I've seen literally at least a dozen of these videos over the course of the last 10 years or so, right? So, I don't know, man. Can you show me any videos of school resource officers stopping a mass shooter? I'd love to see. And then it's also like what kind of effect does this have on children? Where it's like every time you go to school, you have to have your bags searched, right? You have to wait in line, go through 3,000 metal detectors, right? You have cops stare at you Jesus fucking goddamn Christ. Really, the end goal for these people is they want to undermine public education. They want to make it so that kids don't feel safe going to schools, and then their stupid-ass fucking shit-fuck Republican parents are going to homeschool them and propagandize them to be crazy psychopaths. That's basically what the goal here is. And then it's like, okay, So that's how you stop a mass shooting in a school. Well, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, there was a mass shooting at a medical facility. Should we have only one door for all hospitals? Should we have armed police outside of every building in the whole city, just in case? What about at restaurants? We've seen mass shootings at restaurants. We've seen mass shootings at churches. Should we have 50 armed cops outside of every door for every building in every city? That's the only thing to do. That's all you can do. Is just have stormtroopers just fucking standing outside every door everywhere. Every restaurant, every bookstore, every hospital, every school. And then again, not to mention, what happens in a fire if there's only one fucking door? Like, again, these people are fucking dumb. They're fucking dumb. They're dumb fuck faces. They are fuck faces that are fucking dumb. I don't know what else to tell you about these guys other than the fact that they're fucking morons. They are insane. These people are on drugs, and not the cool kind of drugs. They're on the bad drugs. The drugs that make you a fucked up Looney Tune, man. That's what the kind of drugs they're on. These people are fucking insane, dude. Again, regardless of your opinion on guns, right? I consider myself more pro-gun than the average liberal, but this shit is insane. This is not how you make a pro-gun argument. No one who is pro-gun should be in favor of motherfuckers running around with machine guns. Let's be honest about this. You can say, oh, I think I should have a shotgun in my house for self-defense or whatever. That's one thing. But to say that we should have all of our schools turned into prisons and everyone runs around with a machine gun and we have cops, armed guards at everywhere, all the time, that's insane. That is not a pro-gun argument. That is a fucking pro-stupid argument. It's fucking insane. These people are crazy, man. Jesus Christ. Holy Macintosh. I'm speedrunning today's show because I got another show at 11:30. Cooking with the goddamn B word, motherfucker. Look at this. 35 minutes. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how generous I am and how grateful you should be that you are able to watch this? I mean, wow. That is a privilege. A privilege. It really is. Uvalde teacher who officials mistakenly said left door open is traumatized and heartbroken, attorney says. So imagine there's a mass shooting. Your coworkers literally sacrifice themselves to save kids. Right? Your friends are dead. Your students are dead. And the cops, meanwhile, stood outside and watched for an hour. And then the cops say, oh no, it was that other teacher's fault. And they just make something up. They just made it up. Like, again, this is a really bad headline from ABC News by Will Steeken. What a fucking idiot this fucking guy is. This wasn't a mistake. Police didn't make a mistake. They lied. They made it up. They wanted to do anything they could to deflect blame, so they just made up a story. They just made it up. It wasn't a mistake. A teacher at Robb Elementary School has been traumatized and fuck this infinity bundle. Fuck you. I'm getting that out of the frame. No one needs to see that advertising crap. A teacher at Robb Elementary School has been traumatized and heartbroken since Texas officials incorrectly made initial statements claiming she left the door propped open that the Uvalde gunman used to enter the building before carrying out last week's mass shooting. Her lawyer told ABC News in an interview Thursday, "It's traumatic for her when it's insinuated that she's involved. The door's open," attorney Don Flannery said, who represents the Robb Elementary School teacher, told ABC News correspondent Marcus Moore in an exclusive interview. She's heartbroken. Like, I mean, again, they just made this fucking shit up. It's not our fault. We had tactical gear. We had fucking body armor, level 4 plate carriers. We had fucking knee armor. We had fucking, like, super duper tactical helmets. We had, like, fucking decked out, like, fucking machine guns. We had stun guns. We had we had tear gas, pepper spray, and we just watched. Meanwhile, other teachers, literally, they were armed with a t-shirt that they used to defend kids' lives. They used their own bodies as human shields and sacrificed their lives, right? And then they're just going to deflect blame onto a random other teacher. It's insane. This fucking shit is insane. It's not a mistake. It's not incorrect. It's a fucking lie. They made it the fuck up. They made it up. What the fuck? Okay. Flannery told ABC News that prior to the shooting, the teacher walked out to the door to retrieve food from a colleague outside. When she saw the gunman crash a gray Ford pickup truck, then exit the vehicle and head her way toward the school armed with a gun. She sees him throw a bag over the fence, and he has the weapon, the gun, around his chest, Flannery said. He hops the fence and starts running at her. Flannery said the teacher then immediately turns and runs inside, kicks the rock out, slams the door. So imagine, there's a crazy-ass motherfucker chasing you, threatening to kill you, and you run away, and then cops say it's your fault. Back inside the school, Flannery said she heard gunshots. She thought she was going to die herself. She was waiting for him to come in, Flannery said. Obviously, she's heartbroken with all the lives lost. At a press conference after the shooting, Stephen McCraw, director of Texas Department of Public Safety, said the teacher had left the door propped open prior to the gunman entering the school. The teacher runs to the room 132 to retrieve a phone, and that same teacher walks back to exit the door and the door remains propped open, McCraw said. They made it up. They just fucking made it up. They just literally made it the fuck up. And is this guy the director of Texas Department of Public Safety? The head honcho of the whole state. Is he going to face any accountability? No. Is he going to get demoted or fired? No. Is he going to get charged for putting people's lives in risk? No. No accountability will ever happen. None. No one will be held accountable. And then they're going to do it again. And they're going to do it again. And they're going to do it again. They're going to lie and lie and lie, deflect, kill as many black people as they can, and just refuse to stop as many mass shooters as they can, because they can. There is no constitutional, according to the Supreme Court, there is no constitutional requirement for cops to help you. They can watch you get killed and then lie about you, and they're good. They didn't break any laws. No one will do anything. But just days after the claim was walked back, Texas Department of Public Safety Press Secretary Erica Miller confirmed to ABC News the investigation had determined the teacher had closed the door, but the door did not lock. Law enforcement is looking into why the door failed to lock, DPS confirmed to ABC News. In the meantime, the teacher's attorney told ABC News that his office is filing a petition for information about Daniel Defense, the company that made the assault weapon used in the attack. We can't bring the kids back, but we can find out who's responsible. We need to find the people who put the guns in the hands responsible. I say, find out who's responsible, i.e., look into all of these cops and why they didn't fucking do anything. That's what I say. But of course, you know, an attorney is going to be too afraid to go on to, tackle the entire police department and the entire Texas Department of Public Safety. They're afraid because they don't have the resources. Let's be honest, one lawyer does not have the resources to take on the entire state's police apparatus. But that's insane. Crazy shit. Crazy fucking shit. I want to read this article here because this situation with the Uvalde police, it really is, in my opinion, one of the most epic displays of what the police's true intentions are in this country, what the role of police in this country is. The Uvalde police response perfectly illustrates policing in this country as a whole. And this is another article that explains just how fucked up this whole system is. During the Uvalde shooting, an off-duty federal agent's wife texted him for help. I asked my barber if he had a gun, he said. Again, the Uvalde school district had its own police force. They did nothing. The Uvalde city itself had its own police force. 40% of the budget, $4 million a year. They did nothing. Some guy who works for the Border Patrol and wasn't even on duty. He was getting a haircut. This is the guy. Jacob Alvarado was in his barber's chair when both men got text messages about the shooting unfolding at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas last week. There's an active shooter, help, love you. Alvarado's wife, Trisha, said in 3 messages at 11:41 a.m. She's a 4th grade teacher at the school, and their daughter is a student there. I asked my barber if he had a gun. Alvarado, a U.S. Customs and Border Patrol protection agent, told CBS News on Wednesday he had attended an award ceremony at the school earlier that morning and was off duty with his weapon at home. The barber did have a gun. Alvarado took it. A shotgun rushed into the chaotic scene. Police officers were already there, and Alvarado started helping. Kids are coming out the windows, he said, with people fleeing to a funeral home across the street. Hold up. Alvarado said he wanted to get inside the school as fast as he could. I was acting as a husband and a father. His wife let him know she made it to the funeral home, but she told him their daughter was locked in the school's restroom. I didn't know what restroom, he said. He eventually learned his daughter was in a restroom located inside her classroom. Alvarado met up with 2 officers near the classroom. We need to get the kids out of there, Alvarado said. He told the officers. The shooter's over there. We need to get the kids out. This is our time. The officer started opening classroom doors. Alvarado said he guided people to safety. First classroom, second classroom, third, saw my daughter, Alvarado said. Relief, big relief. He hugged and kissed her, and soon she was heading to the school parking lot. While Border Patrol agents were on the team that breached the classrooms where the gunman was holed up, Alvarado wasn't in that group. I didn't have my gear, and so it wouldn't have been a smart decision for me to get into the building, he said. I didn't have my vest. A shotgun's not good enough for defense. During a press conference last week, the head of the Texas Department of Public Safety said the school district's police chief didn't initially send officers into the classroom where the gunman was located just because he thought it was no longer an active shooter situation. The U.S. Justice Department is conducting a review of the police response. For his part, Alvarado said he wasn't in a position to assess the response. Of course, he's never going to go against his fellow officer. I know my fellow officers, he said, and to me, hearts of hearts, I believe they were doing everything in their power they could. Fucking bootlicker scumbag. Bootlicker fucking scumbag. But the reason why I want to talk about this story is because, again, some guy who's off duty that doesn't, like, his boss is not the Uvalde police chief. That's not his boss. So he had the freedom to go in there and actually start to help people. Now, again, while the Uvalde police were tasing, beating, and pepper spraying parents for trying to do the same, they couldn't do that to this guy. And that's why this story is important to understand. Parents who wanted to do the same thing this guy did were beaten, their faces shoved into the asphalt and concrete, tased, pepper sprayed, handcuffed for 8 hours. But because this guy was an off-duty agent from another federal force, he had the ability to go in there and actually do something. Isn't that insane to think about? And then, of course, the officers did everything they could, because cops will never go against each other. They will always lie on behalf of everyone else. Because they're all part of the same team. And again, once this guy knew his kid was safe, the cops did a great job. I mean, let me get my kid out of there. But the cops, they're great. What about the parents of the 19 children who died? What if they had the opportunity to just rush in with a gun? Because the cops weren't using the guns. Why didn't the cops just give the parents their fucking machine guns and their fucking shotguns and their handguns and all that shit? But no, they instead were tased, pepper sprayed, and handcuffed. It's insane. This shit's insane. And the only reason this guy was able to go in was because he outranked them in some capacity. That's it. That's the only reason. This country is garbage, folks. It's trash. It's trash. Can you imagine if this guy's kid died, do you think you would say the same thing? Oh, the cops did everything in their power. They made great decisions. You think his opinion would change if his kid was one of the 19 that was slaughtered while cops stood outside and beat the shit out of their parents? Imagine being the parent who got tased, handcuffed, and pepper sprayed for 8 hours. Hearing gunshots the whole time, hearing children scream, and then realizing 8 hours later, after they were detained in the back of a car for 8 hours, then realizing, oh, my kid was one of the kids that died. And if I just was able to not get tased, handcuffed, and pepper sprayed by the cops, maybe I could have done something. Now, let's be real. Would they have been able to save the day unarmed? Let's be honest, probably not. Right? But let's say the cops gave them the guns, because the cops didn't want to do it. Give the parents the guns. If the parents, if 18 parents went in, 19 parents went in with guns that the cops gave them, because the cops don't want to do it, right? Would less kids have died? Maybe. And that's the thing about this, is they don't know. There's no way to know. So imagine being that parent who got handcuffed, pepper sprayed, and tased, sitting in the back of a cop car for 8 hours, hearing gunshots and your children dying and screaming. And then thinking, what if I was able to go in there without being brutalized? Even if the possibility of him saving his child was low or impossible, the fact that he will never understand or never know the answer, that's going to fucking haunt him for the rest of his life. So, but of course, the Border Patrol guy, he's able to do whatever he wants. Shit is crazy. It's crazy. The fucking shit we have to deal with in this country is insane. Whew. Anyway, y'all. How's everyone doing today? I was speedrunning the news. I had a lot of coffee this morning. So, you know, I'm going to be streaming at 1 in 109 minutes. I will be live once again playing some video games. I will also be ranting and raving like a total lunatic, as always. And again, after this show, in 19 minutes from now, you can watch a new Cooking with the Bitch. So everyone should open up the Cooking with the Bitch show in their other tabs or whatever. Just pop that link. Check it out. Get it ready. Because it's going to be good. It's a good app. It is a good app. All right, let's talk about movies. I'm going to do a movie review. It's movie time. Movie time. So yesterday, I watched a film. That's right. A film. Yesterday I watched a movie, a motion picture called Chappie. This is a film, this is a motion picture. It exists. It's called Chappie. And I watched it. I watched it in its entirety. And not bad, I have to say. I was very skeptical at first. Very skeptical how this movie would turn out. But by the end, I thought it was pretty good. So anyway, basic synopsis is, so this is a movie that takes place in South Africa, and like the South African police or whatever can't stop like crime. And so what they do is they invent these like police robots that like, you know, murder the shit out of criminals. And so one of the police robots gets fucked up and decommissioned. And so one of the people that works at this robotics company is like working on another like robot consciousness program. Like there's their own personal project. So then what they do is they steal the, what he does is he steals the robot that got decommissioned because it got blown up or whatever. And he plugs in the consciousness program. And that's Chappie, who's like, a living conscious being inside of this robot. But then the other main characters of the movie are this like criminal syndicate of like, I'm going to be honest, man, the characters, like some of the characters in this movie were horrible. Like the ninja character. Wow. I mean, if you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. But that guy, terrible, absolutely horrendous acting, horrendous character, horrendous storytelling. That guy was 0 out of 10. And I don't do rankings often, but that motherfucker was so cringe. I almost like couldn't watch the movie. I was cringing so hard at certain times. And I read that the actor that plays him, who's like part of some band or whatever, I read that the actor that plays him was also like really bad, like while they were filming. Like everyone else on the film set did not like him at all. So that tracks. But anyway, outside of that character being horrendous, a criminal syndicate basically, holds the creator of Chappie at gunpoint and says, you're going to give your robot to us. And then the robot's like learning how to live. And then, the gang is like teaching him how to like, do crimes without like thinking he's doing anything wrong. Like, oh, if you stab people, they just go to sleep. You don't kill them. They just go to sleep. Right. So that's a little, little thing. And so eventually there's like so many layers to this movie. It feels like this movie was like there's just so much going on. It's hard to keep track of it. So anyway, at this weapons company, there's another guy who's like a little bit of a crazy person who's like developing the super robot that uses like a neural helmet to like run the robot or whatever. And he like the company won't let him use the super robot, but they let him construct the thing. So this corporation lets him make a super robot, but doesn't let him use it. What's the point? Why would you fund the millions and billions of dollars or whatever to create the research and development and the parts to create the robot and the helmets, and then at the last minute say, nah. So anyway, he really wants to use his robots. So what he does is he turns off all of the, droids that like the Chappie droids, but the other ones are just, they're not like Chappie. Chappie's a conscious droid. And then then the crime runs rampant again, and he gets in his like mech robot Neuralink shit. And anyway, I don't understand that part of the movie, but he kills a bunch of people, and like the robot's super cool. Like watching the robot tear someone in half, that was pretty fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie. And so like he shoots the main character who created Chappie, but then like secretly Chappie like solved the problem of consciousness or something, and then puts the creator of Chappie who got shot and is bleeding out, puts his consciousness in another robot, and then the movie ends, and then like some of the characters are turned into robots, and it's pretty cool. Like there's a lot of parts in this movie that like I really couldn't stand, right? Like the acting by some of the characters was so horrible, and like the characters were so terrible. It was honestly excruciatingly painful to watch. But some of like, I love the consciousness bits where Chappie like steals a bunch of PS4s and like uses them as like he links them up as a computer and then like solves the problem of consciousness. I thought that was cool, right? There's a lot of really interesting parts in this movie, but like again, it's one of those things where it's like some of it's really horrible, but I think overall the movie's pretty good. I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie, I was enjoying it. I thought Chappie was adorable. I thought it was okay. I thought it was a pretty decent movie. Sounds like Copaganda to me. I disagree. I think it's the opposite of Copaganda, because the cops are like shown to be incompetent douchebags, pretty much. And so like their security at their like warehouse is so bad that someone can just like turn off all of their cop droid. The cops in this movie are extremely incompetent, so I think that that's a good thing. But yeah, I mean, this, I would recommend watching it if this sounds even remotely interesting to you. I thought the character development of Chappie as he, was born, and then, learns about the world from these gangsters and stuff. I thought that was interesting. There's a lot of really funny lines when Chappie is, decked out with bling, so to speak. And that was pretty funny. There's a lot of really funny stuff, a lot of good stuff in this movie. But man, I could not stand the fucking main character Ninja. I could not stand that motherfucker. Jesus goddamn Christ. On a personal level, he sounds like a despicable douchebag. But in the movie, the guy, what a fucking, nightmare. Again, if that guy just didn't exist in the movie, I think the movie would be, significantly better. Oh my God, what a horrible character. And it's not even a character that's bad, but the plot is used, he's a villain, right? It's not even that he's a villain and you're supposed to hate him. But it's just he's such an unlikable douchebag, and he's supposed to be he's supposed to be one of the protagonists, and it's just, Jesus, what the fuck? What the fuck? But anyway, I thought this movie was good. I want to check out the director's other films because they also seem interesting. I've never seen any of them. And so, again, if this sounds I think that the good parts of this movie are really good. And the bad parts of this movie are bad, but the good parts significantly outweigh the bad parts. But I can't review this movie without complaining about how horrible Ninja is. What a terrible fucking character. Jesus goddamn Christ. But also, I just want to say, I loved, the set of this gang warehouse. There's just art on the walls. Apparently the protagonists are a real life music group, and so on the walls are their music lyrics or whatever, and there's super cool art and stuff on the walls. That was super cool. And so I love the background. The set design was really good. But yeah, so anyway, good movie. I want to check out the other movies that this guy has made. They seem interesting from what I've looked up. And Chappie, I'm in. I like consciousness. I like solving consciousness. I hope that that's going to happen in my lifetime. Probably not, but we'll see. And so on that note, good movie overall. Check it out. It's goddamn Chappie. Can you believe that shit? Riolon says, name? Are you talking about the guy from District 9? I haven't seen District 9, so I'm not talking about the guy from District 9. No, I believe this is the same director. Yeah, I want to check him out. Last House on the Left. The cops are so incompetent they don't even notice a teenage girl being dragged into the woods by David Hess. Well, that's a spoiler. It's a goddamn spoiler. You just spoiled Last House on the Left. Now I can't watch it. 16 Jones. That's like a fucking Seinfeld bit. That's from Seinfeld. Naming your child after a number. That's a sign like this. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Anyway, that's one hell of a show. Speedrunning today for today's program. We have entered the random noises portion of the program. So that's pretty much it today. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the program. I love saying program, by the way. Once again, Cooking with the Bitch coming up in a couple minutes. 8 minutes, actually. And so check out the link. I will see you there in the premiere chat. And there you go. I gotta pee, so that's pretty much it. I gotta go. I gotta pee. I need to visit the urination station. I missed my appointment, so I gotta hope that the urination station will have me. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. And I will see you all tomorrow at noon for the Above It All show. I will see you in 6 minutes for the Cooking with the Bit show. And I will see you in 97 minutes for the Doom stream. So I will see y'all very shortly or tomorrow, depending on your IQ. If your IQ is higher than 6, I will see you at 1 p.m. If your IQ is lower than 6, I will see you tomorrow at noon. If your IQ is lower than 3, maybe I'll never see you again. But anyway, thank you all. Have a good one.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ. The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right?
I went in yesterday and there was a television screen, and I said, this is genius. And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. You're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it, and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick, because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup from my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.